Okay, so let's talk about the hypothetical situation of utilizing Calendar to create this type of link. In the past, we were making calendar links, and one of the problems is zombie links, meaning if you send out a calendar link with no protections, no extra settings, students can utilize them to open the door and kind of have their own meetings. So let's say that you wanted to make a conference. I'm just going to type conference. I'm going to add video conferencing. I'm going to add Google Meet. That makes a permanent link. As I hover over, you can click that if you need more guidance. But let's just make this link here. We're going to press save. I'm going to go into it immediately. Reason I'm going into it immediately, I want to make sure that I have my host control badge. What I need to do here is absolutely 100% turn off quick access. Now, if I were to let people know what this link is, I'll show you kind of how students and teachers and outside people would be trying to join this meeting. So here we go. This is going to be a student asking to join. Student is asking. Let's say that I admit them. Now they're in the meeting. Now, if they leave the meeting and then try to rejoin the meeting, it's going to let them right in. So how do we manage that? You would want to remove them from the meeting. Now, if you remove them, they will not be able to get back in the meeting, and that would help solve some of that issue. Let's say, sake argument, that we have a person outside the domain, a Gmail person, but not a FostoriaSchools.org person who wants to join the meeting. It's going to ask them to join. Matt Swortchek from outside the domain wants to join in. If I admit, they're in. If they leave the meeting and try to rejoin, they're back. How do we avoid that? Again, we would want to remove them from the meeting before they leave. Now, let's say for the sake of argument that I leave the meeting. We are ending that meeting. Person hangs up. I hang up. What happens to the people that were in the meeting? So the private person is going to try and rejoin the meeting, and they're going to end up with this message. So I'll show you real quick what that message looks like. They're going to end up with this message, waiting for the host to join. The meeting will start as soon as the host joined. Why? Because now there are host controls, and if you have gone in really early into your calendar meet, and if you went in there and you made sure that your host controls had quick, important message there that we'll talk about here in a second, but quick access turned off, the thing that happened there was we had this private person waiting in the waiting room, and as soon as I joined, boom, the meeting started again. So what I would do is remove people from the meeting, then end the meeting. And that way, if the person tries to come back, it should give them the message of, you can't join this video call after that. And that should effectively kill the link in a way that our previous calendar links weren't doing. So that is another option. Now, for me, I still think that the best way to manage these meetings so that you don't forget them, they don't become long-standing meetings that are still sitting there from way back when in March of 2020 or something, and become a zombie link like this teacher's lounge. This teacher's lounge is still very much so a zombie link if it has been touched. So like when we try and join this, we could kick back into a meeting that hasn't been open since March of 2020. So for me, I think nickname meetings is the way to go. But if you do go with calendar, make sure you are setting it up by turning the user controls into turning off quick access.